So you're applying at jobs, you're looking for an internship or scholarships or any other thing where you need to apply to something and someone needs to say yes based on your profile, CV, cover letter, whatever, against a profile or description that they're looking for. Now, is this a hard process? Yes, for most people it's hard, it's annoying, it's something they don't understand. Does it have to be this way? No. And what I want to share with you is one thing that I was told when I was job hunting or looking for internships in the past that really changed the game for me. Now, this will not get you a job in 2 days. This won't boost your resume with a magic keyword or anything like that. Anyone that sells you or tells you any advice that promises anything like that is just probably lying to you. But this one thing, this one perspective change, this one reality changed everything for me, because it made the process way more transparent. It made me way more in control. And whether it's just a feeling or a perspective shift, or it's an actual change in how you act, it will change things for you. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed with job applications, if you're feeling like finding an internship is hard or impossible, listen to this. All right, so the reality, and I won't withhold this anymore, and I'll go into detail after I share it with you, is that recruiters and people that review applications and admissions officers, all those people, they are, for the most part, in most situations, the most conservative people on the planet with regards to risk-taking and with regards to how they perceive fit between an applicant and what they're looking for or an ideal candidate. It's as simple as that. Now, that may seem vague and distant from your reality, but let me connect the dots. So, I have spoken to dozens and dozens of recruiters in tech, in finance, in consulting, all fields I have worked in. And the reality is that recruiters on the surface, when you talk to them, when you do coffee chats, even when you speak to employees at current companies, when you ask them about the process of getting into the company, they will all tell you that it's about networking. It's about doing this or doing that or partaking in this and partaking in that. And these are all true and valid. But I've had a few of these conversations with recruiters that were very down to earth and very honest, bring up a very different reality. Regardless of market conditions, regardless of what hiring is right now in whatever field you're pursuing, or all the things that are sort of out of your control, the one thing that is in your control and in the control of recruiters is fit and risk perception. And I want you to wrap your head around this, because this is what's going to change the game for you. So put yourself in the shoes of a recruiter. That is the first thing you should do with whatever you're applying to or looking into. Let's take just the simple job example. So you're applying to a job and a recruiter is reviewing thousands or hundreds of CVs or whatever against the profile or description that they're looking for. In this case, the recruiter isn't looking for the most impressive person. It isn't necessarily looking for someone that's going to stand out because of X or Y that is just exceptional or very different. Then they're not necessarily even looking for someone that has, top grades or top companies on their resume. What they are looking for is the 1, 2, 3, or 5, or very few people or applicants that are no-brainers. And that's as simple as it gets. And it's just true. They are looking for that one CV, one profile, one candidate that they will look at and look at the description of the job that they're recruiting for or whatever, scholarship, whatever. And when they look at both, they are looking for that fit where it's a no-brainer, where it's like any recruiter in their place, any person that's reviewing these two things would just see a match automatically. That is an ideal scenario for a recruiter, because recruiting a candidate for whatever, again, a job, an internship, whatever, is an investment on behalf of the company. And the way companies and organizations look at investments in people or talent or giving, money to a student for a scholarship is a return. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone that's going to bring them exactly what they want in the role they want to achieve the results that they're looking for. And in a world where talent is abundant and fresh college graduates are abundant, or even seasoned professionals are abundant because of market conditions, because of increased education and those great things. But the reality is talent is abundant. Because of that, they have the luxury of choosing no risk options and no brainer candidates versus going for, this candidate might learn on the job, or they seem really promising and let's take a risk on them, or let's take a shot. That rarely happens in general, but especially right now, or in some fields where market conditions are tough, that won't happen. So I need you to wrap your head around this. And this is what I did when I was job hunting or internship hunting. And it really changed the game for me, because instead of looking at it as a numbers game, some people say their strategy is just to apply to everything and hope something sticks. Other people will say, no, I will just pour my heart and soul into networking and just doing every competition or every initiative with this one company and hope it pans out. Yes, those approaches could work. They've worked for me and some friends in the past. Absolutely. No discussing it. But they're tough. They're tough. Because they take a lot of effort, mental health effort. They take a lot of work to get there and to achieve them. And they're also just not guaranteed. So if you want to have the same luxury a recruiter has of approaching this process of matching yourself to a company or to an internship or whatever, if you want to take that same sort of more guaranteed or lower risk, clearer path and more logical path, then you have to think like they think when you apply. And what that comes down to is the search and looking at what you're actually applying to and how you're applying to it. So I won't share with you specific resume tips or cover letter tips because they're abundant online and I'm sure you'll find some great ones. But what I will tell you is that if you find a job that you should apply to, it should be a no-brainer in your mind, because no one knows your profile and your story and your experiences and your professional capacities better than you, okay? You've been through your experiences, you know who you are, you know what friends would describe you as if someone asked them to describe you in a few words, you know that. Okay. Now your job in this very tedious or somewhat opaque process of job hunting and job applications is to show this profile to a recruiter. But before that, you need to choose which recruiter you're going to show this profile to. You're going to have to choose the job that fits that best. And this is where you need to look at two things. You need to look at what you are looking for and what you want, a company, a sector, or something that's exciting, a high salary, whatever it is. Decide on that. And then once you've decided on that pool of high salary jobs, for some people that's what it is, or consulting in general, or this type of scholarship, or this type of incubator even, because all these are applications and they're all the same similar process kind of thing. Once you've picked the pool of things that you want to look into and apply to, you have to look within those and see which one you could be a no-brainer for, which one you could the most be a no-brainer for. Now, sometimes there will be an easy no-brainer. If you are, someone with years and years of experience in digital strategy, for example, and you find a digital strategy role within a company or that group of companies that you were interested in, boom, then that was easy. For others, it's going to be more tough. For recent college graduates, it's tough, right? You don't have necessarily no-brainer characteristics like years of experience or like side projects. And this is where your job is going to be to tailor your profile to what they're looking for to seem more no-brainer, or at least to present yourself in the most no-brainer way possible. You're not faking anything. You're not boosting anything necessarily. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you will present yourself in the most no-brainer way possible. This is a perspective shift. Again, it is not specific advice, but it has been the most valuable thing for me, because it has changed the game on how I approach things and what I apply to, why I apply to, and how I apply to things. And a side note here, for those of you that are struggling to seem like a no-brainer in the field or whatever group you're going for, don't wait for permission from a recruiter or from a company or from some training organization or from some school to become a no-brainer. There are a lot of projects, entrepreneurial side things, GitHub groups. I don't know. There are so many things you could do without seeking permission or applying to something that can help you be a no-brainer for a specific field. Whether it's taking online courses, watching YouTube videos, teaching yourself, there's so many things you could do. So if you're feeling like you're not there yet to even be close to becoming a no-brainer for the group you're going for, but you absolutely want to go for that group of job roles or opportunities, don't wait for an organization to give you permission to become a no-brainer for it. Become it yourself. Find those opportunities, create those opportunities, and you'll get there. The other sort of supporting evidence that I've seen for this theory of how recruiters think and this reality of how all of these processes go is that overqualified applicants don't do well. And that's just a reality. You could look it up online. There are statistics on this, but overqualified is just as bad as underqualified. What people are looking for is the fit. So let's recap. Recruiters are the most conservative people on earth. They are looking to find no-brainer profiles for what they're looking for. Okay, so you as a candidate, as an applicant, if you want to approach the job hunt or similar processes in the same less risk, more transparent, more logical way, you need to think like they think, and you need to look at the group of positions or job roles or scholarships that you want to apply to, and within those find the ones where you can be the most no-brainer possible. Once you've identified these 3, 4, or 5, again, the recruiter has 3, 4, or 5 no-brainer profiles per role, right? So for you, you want to find those 3, 4, 5 no-brainer companies or positions that you want to apply to. Once you've found these 3, 4, or 5, however many they are, within the group that you're looking for, you want to make yourself seem the most no-brainer possible. And the way you do that is that you stick to that description like it is just your North Star. You talk to people within the team. You do all these things that you were going to do anyway at companies, but you do them more intentionally. Because what you're trying to get to is what return or what results is the company, is the organization, whatever, looking for with this role. And then once you know that, once you've done your research and understood that really well, you tailor your profile to show that you are a no-brainer to deliver these. It's as simple as that. Is it still tough? Yes, in some way it is. But I hope that with this perspective shift, just like it did for me, you will be more intentional and feel like the job search, the job hunt, again, scholarships, whatever, that process is more transparent and less opaque and frustrating than it should be, because it really can be. It's the reality for most people. But in my opinion, my experience and what I've seen speaking with recruiters, speaking with friends, ambitious people who have done well in different various sectors, what I've seen is that it comes down to this. It's all based on return results. That's what companies are looking for, especially in tough times. No-brainers always win. Are there scenarios where non-no-brainers win? Yes, absolutely. There are times where companies recruit almost everyone because times are great. And there are times where you'll get lucky, or you have something in common with a recruiter and that'll create affinity, and they'll be like, oh, let's take a shot on this person. And that happens more often than not because it is a super subjective process and it is a tedious, unpredictable process. But if you want to take more control and try to tame this process as much as possible so you don't get overwhelmed and you don't waste effort, think like they think. Now that you know how the game works, go play it, but play it right. Take control of the things you can take control of. Know how the other side is thinking and do your best. And that's a game changer. All right, best of luck with your application to whatever. I'm sure you'll kill it. And killing it isn't necessarily getting that thing you're thinking you're going to get, but it is doing as much as you can to be a no-brainer for them. And if they don't want it, then it was never a fit in the first place, and your talents will be better used elsewhere. Best of luck.